is Desiree with theastrologyaddiction.com, and thank you so much for watching. Today's video is going to be on commitment styles for each zodiac sign. This can be for your sun, moon, rising sign. It can really be for any of your personal planets or your partner's personal planets if you're wanting to know more about your own, commitment style, or your partner, someone you're pursuing, their take on marriage and on, long-term partnership and relationships in that way. I think that commitment is definitely something that is a hot, topic in relationships. You want to know if the person you're with, are they meant to get married? Are you meant to commit? Are you someone who would do well with that? Or is that an area that you might struggle just being, in a monogamous committed relationship? So please keep watching if you would like to hear more, and please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the bell notifications so that you are notified every time I post a new video. If you'd like to get a reading with me, please see the link below. Now, Aries. For Aries commitment style, Aries is ruled by Mars. It's a fire sign and it's a masculine sign. So anyone that has placements in Aries, they are, hot-tempered. They are not someone who typically can hold out really long in relationships, just because their innate nature is to kind of get bored with things. They want immediate gratification. They want instantaneous gratification. They have a really high lust nature, high passions. And so, commitment for them, if they do commit to you, they are very loyal and they stick their focus to you, and they're very determined to make it work. Mars is a planet, and ruling this sign shows that they do take it to a very intense level, and that they want to do everything they can to make it work, because they don't want, to fail themselves. They don't want to fail the partner that they've committed to, or even their family, their social circle. They definitely don't like to disappoint in that way. They don't like to be wrong. They don't like people to say, oh, I knew you shouldn't have did that. You were too young. You guys weren't right for each other. So they will stick it out and do everything that they can to make something work, even if it means, that they aren't 100% loyal throughout the process, or that they aren't 100% satisfied throughout the process. But this just shows back to their kind of impatience. They want things when they want them, and they can get a little bit frustrated with people in relationships for long term. But the sign definitely can have long-term relationships and get married. My sun is in Aries, my Venus is in Aries, so any partnership that I have, it's been pretty intense, and I've really had to fight through a lot of challenges. I think that's a theme for Aries too, just having to fight for something. You really have to, this sign will do every obstacle that it's given just to try to make it work. So that's something that an Aries is really definitely good at with regards to commitment. Now, a Taurus commitment. Taurus is obviously a sign that definitely is someone who wants to commit. They want to get married. They want a steady partnership. They want to be with someone that they can rely on, who is going to be there for them, who they can come home and cook dinner with, they can build a home with. Taurus is an earth sign. It's a feminine sign. So they want to have a comfortable relationship. They want to have a relationship where they can build a home together, or build, a future together. Taurus is all about determination and sticking with things through the end. They don't just start a project and leave it hanging like an Aries might. They stick with things until the end, and they do that out of pride, but also out of comfort. They want to be with someone who makes them feel safe, who they can trust, and who they don't have to worry about leaving them. So, a Taurus is someone who, yes, is very marriage prone, wants to commit, wants to be in long-term partnerships, but they can also be kind of jealous if their partner isn't exactly like that. They can be jealous because they don't want their partner to spend emotional time with anyone, physical time with anyone. I've seen Tauruses who don't want their partners to go and get massages from a masseuse, and it's not in that sexual way. It's just they wouldn't even go with their partner because they're just so possessive at times, and they really want to just be with someone all the time. So a lot of times you see them being people who get married young, or who make that choice pretty quickly and early on in relationships. Maybe they'll meet someone and they'll have that feeling like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be, this is who I'm supposed to be with, and just move pretty quickly in that way to get married. You know, they can definitely take their time with relationships though, and with finding the right person. They can be a little bit picky in that way because they need to have sort of a lot of different things within their partner. You know, they want their partner to have a good job, be able to support them, support the family, a partner who, you know, is beautiful, takes care of themselves, you know, because scent and touch and, you know, the physical aspect of it is really important to a Taurus. So they are picky in that way, but, you know, when they choose to settle down, it's a very serious decision. Now Gemini, of course, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which is a very fast moving planet. It's an air sign. Gemini is a masculine sign. Gemini is not, you know, we all know this, Gemini is the sign of 2. They're not very prone to commitment. Not to say that they wouldn't, but they're more the type that would, you know, kind of back away, maybe run away from a relationship if there's any inkling that it's not working, or that there's not a mutual respect, or, you know, that there's any type of disloyalty even on their end. You know, they can kind of self-sabotage in that way because they just are scared to be with someone forever. That's a really big deal to them. It's not something where, you know, they don't take it lightly. They take a lot longer to commit. Usually it's like in their 30s or even older. Even with children, they can be a little bit nervous about that. It can probably happen more. I would say the Geminis that do, you know, end up having children at younger ages, it's because of an accident, because maybe they were, you know, not careful. And as far as, you know, marriage goes, once they do get to that stage in life where they are, you know, ready to settle down, they've experienced everything that they've wanted to, you know, if they've gotten to, then they may be ready to commit to someone. But it has to be someone who's very intellectual, who can hold a great conversation, flirts with them, keeps them curious, keeps them on their toes. You know, they don't want a partner that would just sit in the house all day and want them to, like, come home and entertain them. You know, they want someone who's got a lot going on, got a lot of friends, has a lot of ideas, and can keep that kind of hot, spicy fire going throughout the long term. Now Cancers. So I do know a lot of Cancers who they're more committal than some of the signs, just because they want to be with someone who makes them feel safe and secure, who they can share everything with, and who is just not judgmental or anything like that, because they're very sensitive. But they're also kind of picky. You know, they can get with a partner out of comfort and out of convenience just because it's the right, you know, right thing on paper. But sometimes as they go, if that emotional connection's not there, then usually they have some red flags in their head, like, oh, maybe I'm just staying in this relationship just because this is where I'm at. You know, I'm maybe too afraid to go out and meet a lot of other people, or to start dating again, or to get out of my comfort zone, so they can stick with the same person just out of convenience. So they obviously will commit and stick with people for a long time, but when it comes to maybe that marriage, it really has to be like the right person. It has to be the person that really connects with them emotionally, mentally, physically, like the whole thing. It has to be, it has to check all of the boxes for a Cancer, because it's a cardinal sign. So when they're backed in a corner to make a decision that they're not comfortable with, they will kind of run the other way. You know, Cancers don't just stick with something if it's not right. They don't stick in situations that make them feel bad or unhappy. Cancer is a very powerful sign. It's the ocean, it's the water. You know, it moves when it needs to, and it changes things, and, you know, changes sceneries, obviously, like the water. Just so powerful. So they're not weak signs, but they definitely can stay with people longer than they should, just out of convenience, comfort, or even like financial situations. Now Leos actually do commit. I see a lot of Leos getting with partners. They usually have a really like high level of lust and fun and interaction in the beginning. You know, a lot of romance. They need that in the beginning to kind of get them, you know, going with a partner. They need a lot of like attention, a lot of fun, laughter, you know, a lot of romance kind of in the beginning for them to really make that bond with someone. And then once, you know, that has kind of faded and the commitment, you know, long-term marriage thing kicks in, they need someone who continues to boost their ego. You know, they have to be with a partner who understands that. You know, they need someone who's complimenting them, laughs at their jokes, you know, comes and looks at their art or their projects and boosts it up and tells them like, wow, you're doing really good, you know, keep it up. Like someone who supports that. They need someone who supports their creativity, who supports their endeavors, but who also has their own thing going on. They don't want to commit to someone who is boring or who is, you know, depressing or anything like that, because Leo's all about the sun. You know, the people who have Leo in their chart are here to shine and to just be, you know, be the stars of the show wherever that might be in their life. So they need a partner who is supportive of that and a partner who encourages those types of things. And, you know, as far as relationship goes, they love, you know, they would love a wedding. These are the signs that probably have had their wedding, you know, out on Pinterest or planned out since they were young, since they were very young, just because they've been dreaming of having that union. It's just so romantic, you know, and they are romantics at heart. So that's usually something that they see and they kind of envision. But again, you know, maybe once reality hits after that romance phase has kind of sizzled out, that's when there can be a discord with the long-term relationship, maybe. So it has to be with a fiery person, someone who's ambitious, who has a lot going on, and who can just keep it fun for them. Now a Virgo. So I'm Virgo moon, Virgo rising. Virgos are very committal. They will sacrifice a lot to be with someone. They will give up, you know, whatever they have going on for a relationship if they're in that space, in their headspace. You know, if they're in love with someone, they definitely want marriage because, you know, Virgo is an earth sign and it's also feminine. So they want to have someone in their life who they can have a really, you know, organic type of a connection. You know, they want someone who they can build a home with and that they can work together on projects and support each other on a day-to-day basis. They're very practical, so it has to be someone who fits into their life really well. You know, whatever they have going on, it has to be like an easy fit, because they will realize that maybe the person that they're in love with, that they're pursuing, you know, in this relationship with, doesn't actually fit into where they see their life going, you know, where they really want to be, their dreams. They can realize that really fast, and then usually they cut off the relationship. So if you're in a relationship with a Virgo, they've taken their time to consider, you know, why they want to be with you, the reality-based reasons. But, you know, Virgo is the opposite of Pisces, so they are very romantic and they see that side of things, but they usually pull themselves back really, really well and consider all of the, you know, they'd be the type that makes a checklist, like, should I marry this person or should I not marry this person? You know, what are the benefits of this partnership and this union, and what are the negatives of being with this person? You know, is this where I really see myself being? But they also lean into that intuitive Pisces side and can kind of see both sides of things. Like, is this an emotional, you know, romantic partnership where we have a spiritual connection, but then again, is it checking off the things that I really need to have a reality, you know, based situation that I'm going to be happy with when I'm 60. So it's all those things. Definitely your Virgo and their commitment style. Thank you guys so much for watching. Part 2 will be coming up soon to go through Libra and Pisces and talk about their commitment styles. And let me know if you have any comments or questions below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.